Hello everyone, welcome on back to Survival Challenge. Alright, so I'll get the long planks here sold first. At a fairly good price right now, so kind of makes sense, why not? Honestly, it's one of the few things we get to sell in the middle of the year. For the most part, these are at a fairly good price all the time, which is kind of nice. Nice foggy day again. Did I turn up the time speed a little bit, help with that, but we have that one field for fertilizing, second layer that we'll have to get done. Otherwise, it's kind of a down month. I'm thinking we can probably either cut a bunch of trees around. I was talking, I think it was a couple videos ago now. I was going to cut some trees down. We could potentially expand the one field. I'm thinking we'll probably put all those trees into the sawmill too, even though the one is an oak tree, and I know I've been selling those direct because it's about 15 grand. It's a good amount of money, but it would net us more money if I had it in the sawmill, even though it would take longer to get. It's kind of tempting, and we're not in a desperate need for 15 grand or anything, so we can wait on it, make some more money instead. There are some contracts I could potentially do. I know there's a planting in this field. It's pretty small now that I look at it. There's another one up by the sawmill too. I think if we did both those plantings, it'd be less than 3 grand. It's not a ton of money, but not too bad. 11 grand off of that. Not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, there's one up there. I don't quite know where it is, but there's another field up there. So I think we'll head on back. We'll get the one field fertilized. So I like to get that, out of the way and done before I get too far along. And then I might do these contracts. I think this one's barley and that one's supposed to be corn. We're supposed to plant them in, so we can do them ourselves. We have a decent amount of seeds and everything. If we do them, they basically would pay for what, bag and a half of fertilizer, 2 bags of fertilizer or something like that. So it's not a ton of money, but it's something. Like I said, it's kind of a little bit of a downer month, so wouldn't be bad just to get those done. It's more money than anything else. Yeah, the trees, I'll probably focus on cutting them down first more than, putting them all in the sawmill now. We don't desperately need more wood in the sawmill, plus it's still like 4 months out until the field is ready, so we're not going to be able to expand it for a couple more months. It's not a rush, really. I kind of want to do that path finally down there. I've talked about it for a really long time, but it's tempting, but I also kind of wish the trees were in a slightly different spot. I know it would be nice, obviously, to have something down that way. What did I use? It was one of the... Was it gravel? I don't remember which gravel it was, though. That does not look it. That's not it. That is it. There we go. Just having a path down here might be nice. Yeah, I could kind of go through this way. Any trees that I kind of go over like that, I'm just gonna end up having to cut down. But that's a little better, I'd say. Yeah, these trees I'll have to just cut down, I think, at some point. Maybe I can get those cut down when I do the those trees over there. There's a couple trees over there I had talked about, I think, a little while ago. Alright, took out 450 bucks. Might be high, might be low. Like I've always kind of said, I have the free landscaping on, but I try to take money out. It's probably not as much as it should be, but I'm also not gonna feel bad if I make a mistake and then it costs us money in the end. Let's do steering assist. Make it nice and easy. And off we go. So yeah, I had talked about, I know a little while ago, for cutting some trees down. It's not going to be a huge expansion, but it does net us some wood in the end, which is also kind of nice. I'm looking for more things to sell and make money off of. Especially once I, see the prices of combines and stuff. They are not cheap at all. So it's I think that's going to be the worst part for us, is trying to come up with money for a combine. I think field next, and likely a hoe around that same time. Mainly because I just know I'm not going to be able to keep up if I have to plow them all the time beforehand. The hoe is slightly wider, and it's a lot faster. Especially if you get, some larger fields and stuff. It's kind of where I'm at. It's better than herbicide. With herbicide, you do get that slight decrease in yield. Although I did see precision farming is coming out soon. Maybe it's already out when this video comes out. I think it was in May. I might be wrong. I know I saw they had a blog post about it. There was a slight change they did in it, but I don't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head. Been a couple of days since that came out now, but that was one of my favorite things in 22, so I'll definitely look to get it added into Survival Challenge at some point. Right now it's kind of tough to do, though, because obviously I kind of doubt this tractor would have the ability to add the sensors and stuff on it. Maybe there's an update in the future that allows it. I never cut that stump right there. There we go. How long has that been there? It's had to be a while. It's had to be a while. Yeah, this is basically 105,000. What was 36,000? I've been hoping it comes up in the sale, but I've not been that lucky. I got a little bit excited because for some reason, I thought it was the Pronto 6 for some reason. I saw Horsch pop up for the sales, and I was like, oh, is it in there? No, of course not. Oh, it's not even a Horsch. Why did I think it was a Horsch? I don't. Oh, this is a. Yeah, this would be a hoe. Maybe that's why I thought it's a Pottinger. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, 15 miles an hour. At some point, we'll look at that. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna be trying to get money for a while because combines are not cheap. Once we get land, that's like the immediate next thing we almost need, outside of sheds and animals and stuff. So, yeah, this is 216,000, and a lot of these options down here, it's like, do I spend that money for a very small and minute upgrade? It's harder to justify that. As tempting as it would be, and nice it would be, it's tough to be like, yeah, let's go and spend, $100 $50,000 on a new header and combine for a 6-meter upgrade, basically. Alright, let's... How much is a bag of fertilizer? Basically $2,000. Hopefully these don't use too much then. So I will accept this, and I also accept this one. It's not a ton of money, but it'd be nice to do. The harvesting ones are usually my favorite, but obviously this is potatoes, so I can't really do that. All right, so barley first. We can head into town, well, kind of town, and get those done. I can probably lower the time speed now. Doesn't look like it's too foggy anymore. Yeah, combine it's gonna be tough to do just because of how expensive they are. So I'm kind of at a point where it's like I really need to make more money, and I gotta figure out cheap ways to do that. Like animals, obviously, that's been something I've been wanting to try to get, especially chickens, for a while. But are we going to be able to make enough, you know, wheat or sorghum, whatever it may be, to keep on top of it? Which now we could do sorghum, which is a shorter growth time, which would allow us to, you know, get more product. I'm not sure what the yield amount, if it's similar or not. I want to say it is, just because barley and wheat also has straw figured into the price. Price-wise, sorghum's better, but maybe I'll take another look at chicken pens. That's the most likely animal to get right now. Sheep are a little bit tough to justify, or goats for that matter, just because we don't have any of the equipment to do it. We would likely be talking easily $70,000-$80,000 just trying to get the equipment, unless there's some really good cheaper mods now. I haven't looked in a little bit, but at least for, you know, balers and stuff. It's one of those things. Chickens are going to be the cheapest, and I don't think they're that cheap still. We get 30. I don't think these are custom pasture ones either. I say to get more than 30, it's $40,000. It's tough to justify. Like I said, it's 40 grand is a lot. I gotta verify this is barley before I get too far. Yep. Okay. Before I go and plant the whole field into something else. I'm not sure if it would have let you or not. I feel like it wouldn't, but... And the other field is corn. Okay. Well, I think I'll just do a short little time lapse. We'll get both of these fields planted. So I'll text everyone once the time lapse is done. Alright, so we're just about done here with the second quick short contract. 97, 98. And yep, done. Of course it doesn't let you, finish all the way, but we'll get these collected. Like I said, not a ton of money, but I can't complain too much. And on our way back, I'll probably pick up one bag of solid fertilizer. Basically, it basically cost us $1,000 in fertilizer to do that. I don't know if it was really worth it. We made, I don't know, $1,500 though. Not that much once you figure in that. Plus seeds, which usually don't use too much for seeds. Because honestly, I think we might skip a couple months now, because we won't really have much going on for harvests or planting or really much else. We could potentially try to do chickens soonish. I'm not sure where to put that yet, though. That's kind of something I need to figure out. Where do I put the chicken pen? It's not, the 700 one is not small at all. That is the one I talked about. I think I talked about a while ago. We would likely try to keep it at like 200 and just sell off extras as they come, but I don't think we could keep up with 700 at our large, at our size of a farm. I don't think that's happening. Yeah, I don't know where, because I'd prefer small, flat ground, obviously. But it's almost easier said than done. We go and look at it here. It's not cheap, or not. It's not small either. Let's see. I put in feed over here, and I know the eggs spawn over here as well. Like, you could put it up here. I talked about putting sheds up here too. Yeah, I could kind of push it back in here though. You could almost, if it wasn't for the fact the water was over here, you could almost push it like this. But you could still fill that up. You have to cut like 2 trees down, looks like. Otherwise you kind of put it like this and you kind of take away your, oh no, we'd have to put it out like this. Talk about trying to get something back there, so I don't know how much that, for groundwork that would cost. Obviously it would be best on one of these fields. So then I had talked about this portion of the land because it's so unflat, getting a like goat pen or something and just making a large one up there. But I think up here would make the most sense. We'd have to cut some more trees. So I'll probably think about that. I might go up there though. I don't know if I want to spend it now. I don't know if I want to, place it now. That we really do need to consider, obviously, getting new land. Alright, so I thought about coming in here at like an angle, because this is not in our land. So coming in to like here, was it? No, it was up here. Right in line with that tree, I think I was considering. So we'd have quite a few trees in here, obviously, to cut. And it still leaves a little bit of a barrier, not too much, but allows us to even have a road down to this field from this direction if we wanted. So I am going to start cutting. I think priority right now is just to cut them down and then as we need, we'll start, you know, put them into the sawmill. It's not a rush. It's not a rush right now, so it's not something we gotta, you know, immediately do. So I think this is, like I said, a couple months out. 5 of 9, so yeah, it's a couple months. Like 3 months, something like that. Yeah. I'll do the oak tree. Which looks like by that chicken pen area where we might place it, there's like 2 oak trees that have to be cut. Which wouldn't, you know, we could sell those if we wanted to try to make the money back. I don't know. Obviously that's 30 grand, it still wouldn't pay for it. It would put a nice dent into things. I do kind of want to do chicken soonish, though. I might, you know, like I said, look to see if I can find another pen on Mod Hub that's a little bit better. You know, around that 150, preferably. That would be the kind of preferred area, would be 150. Alright, now where's my stomping point? It was up in here. Yeah, I think, because I don't want to get too far up on the hill. This one might be cut in the future. And I don't want to get too far up on the hill because I know that can cause some weird things when planting and stuff, or certain sections don't get planted. Could cause issues if you have a bigger header, I know, in the future. So it's just one of those things I'd try to avoid it as much as I can. Yeah, I don't know. It's tempting to put the chickens obviously in now, but we have to cut at least 2 trees to put it back in here. That and I know at one point I had considered down there trying to put a smaller greenhouse in here. I don't think that would net us that much money though. Still, that's another thing, is like, does it make sense? Kind of leaning towards doing chickens there more than anything else. I'm putting them right in here, kind of out of the way. Yeah, we'd be cutting 2 trees down, it looks like, to do it. It's like 2 oaks. Yeah. I'll cut them down now, I think, and I'll look again, see if there's different mods and stuff. But we might do it. We might do it. Won't be until the next video, whenever that. Well, will be tomorrow for you, but whatever month that is. Probably May, June. Like I said, I'm going to put these into the sawmill as much as I can now, too. It would make a lot more money long term. 47,000 liters now. That thing's almost never going to run out. It doesn't go through that much. I do have to remember we do have olives this summertime. And we're making like almost 7 grand a month off of that, so that by itself would almost pay for chickens. And for most with the wood, you know, long planks stay about the same price. So we might even be able to sell some of those this summer. And really, if I wanted to do that small mushroom greenhouse, it's small enough it can kind of go wherever. It's not that large of a greenhouse. Kind of fit wherever I want to put it. I think it only gets you like a pallet a month, so it's not like a ton. 20,000 liters from one of those trees. That is just insane. Yeah. They're small enough they can kind of go wherever. As much as that would make sense there. And, you know, we could literally place it wherever in here. Place it randomly in the woods. It's small enough that once we kind of build out the actual farm, once we get sheds in here, which I've talked about for numerous times, eventually it's going to happen. It's just, money is a lot tighter than you would think. Hopefully at some point, but yeah. It's just trying to get the actual farm equipment and stuff first. That's kind of the priority, and then sheds. Even though, I mean, sheds I don't think are too badly priced. Yeah, we got olives too. I got to remember to sell those. Right now, max price is $9.5 grand right there. So we'd be looking at probably a good amount of money come, what, May, June to sell. Just about pay for chickens. Maybe even net some on top. Plus we got this, of course, which, like I said, they stay about the same price. I was wishing it had the price chart option in there. Yeah, they don't vary a ton. They really don't. Planks vary the most, I'm pretty sure. I don't think beams vary much. Yeah, beams don't vary a ton. I could turn on beams as well as planks. That's a little bit more, I think. Doesn't really matter necessarily. The price difference is not a ton. And it's just going to split the cycle. So instead of getting 2 pallets, we'll get a pallet of each. And I think they spawn in different spots, if I remember right, too, from pictures and stuff. Yeah, that all cut down, which, yeah, that's going to be a slow-moving thing over there as we slowly kind of get stuff put into the sawmill. It's not my priority. Not until we are in the position of, oh, hey, we need to get, you know, that field expanded now. It's not going to be a top priority. Good amount of trees over there. I'm sure we would probably be over 100,000 liters in that sawmill if we put everything in there right now. So should be. I might do some off camera though too. It won't be a huge expansion, but it'd be nice to have. Anyways, that is about everything for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.